And so I would just convince myself that I was already dead.
How many times did you think I'm going to die?
More times than I can count. But,
Really?
yeah, I mean,
Well,
a lot of times.
dozens of times?
So now I know he's trying to get a no shit number out of him, but I can tell you from my perspective, we don't keep track and nor do we know, right? Because when you think of special operations, like we're out there where no one else is or where no one else dares to go. And as a result of that, we're often faced with situation that no one else ever finds themselves in. And most of the time, majority of the time, those situation involves life or death, right? So to his point, like countless times, I can attest to this to where me and the boys were out there and we were like, holy shit, this is a unique situation, but we're equipped to handle it and we handle it. But yeah, I second his notion more time than I can remember or recount, right? Let's keep watching.
Probably.
Wow. And for someone who's never been in that position and hopes to never be in that position, what is that feeling like when you're literally thinking, I could die here?
Now, before showing answer, I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents as far as what that feeling was like for me, all right? So there's two different takes to answer this question. There's two different ways of looking at it, right? There was, back in 2010 when I was, on the verge of a divorce and I didn't have any kids. I didn't really have anything, concrete to really worry about or care about. It was an awesome feeling. Like I loved it. Just the adrenaline rush and the lack of fear that went into it. It was a feeling like no other, right? I was like, yes, I want a warrior's death. Like, let's get after it. That's how it felt for me at the moment. But again, two different places. Fast forward when I have kids and I'm married now and, I have things to live for. The feeling was totally different. Now it's holy crap. Like, this can be it. Like, have I done everything to make sure my kids are taken care of? My wife is taken care of. If I am going to go, what's my legacy going to be? It's like your entire life comes down to this one moment. And at the moment, you're trying to do work. And then you're also thinking in your mind, like, man, I hope I've done everything that I was supposed to make sure that everyone's taken care of, to make sure that, I live a good life, I have a good legacy and all that good stuff, man. Everything just comes rushing. And then you make it out. And it's like, that wasn't too bad. And then you and the boys are joking about it. Let's see what Sean has to say.
It is like getting a very fast life review. All of your regrets come to mind, all the things that you wanted to do that you didn't do. It feels like it all goes through your brain in about a second. And I remember the first time it happened, I basically convinced myself that I was already dead. And
now that is, guys, when it happens and it's the first time, now I tell these guys all the time, you could train wolf fighting as much as you want. You can hit the shoot houses, you can hit the range, you can go out and, patrol and do reaction drills and do everything you're supposed to do to fight the enemy. However, when it happens for real, it's no shit surreal. Like, it's like a out-of-body experience to where some people act different ways. Some guys, they run and they preserve themselves. Other guys find a way to overcome it and do work. For me, similar to Sean, like, I had to figure out how to overcome it, right? Me personally, like, after witnessing buddies die, at combat and also back home, for me, I convinced myself that if I'm going to die, I'm going to die, right? Like, yeah, I grew up in church, but I've never been a super religious guy. But one thing that I convinced myself is that whenever it's time for me to die, God is going to come for me regardless of where I'm at. It can be in my sleep. It can be on the battlefield. It can be, back home, sitting in my car, waiting to pick up my kids. Like, whenever it's my time to go, like, I'm going to go. And I convinced myself that God already has that scripted out, right? Whenever he comes for me, regardless of where I'm at, what I'm doing, I'm done. So once I internalized that and I believed it, dude, fearless on the battlefield, right? Let's keep watching.
when I did that, kind of took the fear away, and things became very clear. And so from that point forward, every time I was in a situation where I thought I was going to die and I thought me and my team wouldn't make it out, I mean, for sure, like we might not make it out of this. We're not.
Guys, believe it or not, these instances happen more often than none, right? Like, again, being special operations, that's what you signed up for. You're going to find yourself in situation where you're like, we're not going to make it today, boys. And then you make it, you're like, oh, hell yeah, fucking that was awesome. And then next week, we're not going to make it today, boys. Like, those type of situations happen a lot more frequently than you may think, right? Being in special operation, guys, especially doing the global war on terrorism, where like the height of the war, like that shit was happening every fucking week. And to his point, you have to find peace with it. You have to figure out how to tune it out and how to bring yourself back to the land of the living dead, right? If I'm using his analogy, right? You convince yourself you're already dead and you go out there and you do all this superhero type shit, you know, fucking curving bullets and doing all this crap. And then once you're done, you're like, okay, I need to put the monster away, right? I need to become a civilized person, right? That's how I was able to manage mine. It's like, yo, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die a fucking heroic death. Fuck it. If this is when God wants me to go, I'm going on my terms, right? And then when I don't go, I'm like, all right, cool, man. I guess I live to see another day. Like, that's how I saw it.
Not going to make it out of this. And we have to be okay with that. And so I would just convince myself that I was already dead. And that in a weird way would calm things down and enhance performance.
Wow.
But yeah, guys, I just wanted to share this clip with you guys because I think there's a lot of value there. Because again, when you go to war, yes, we're all fearful. Like, guys, we feel all those emotions. It's our ability to overcome and get on the big stage and do work that matters. Let me know what you guys think about this clip. How do you, as a war fighter, overcome the fear of dying? What's your ritual to just, you know, putting all that shit behind you and handling what's in front of you? Curious to hear about how other war fighters deal with this. When I heard Sean's take, I had to jump on here and share mine with you guys because, again, like once I, you know, looked at it from that perspective, guys, I was fucking fearless, right? But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, take care of yourselves.